going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now today we're going to be working on my 2002 Subaru WRX. And if you haven't seen the previous videos on this car, I recommend checking them out, and I'll make sure to leave a link above. But what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to be showing you the new engine that I actually just picked up. So on the last episode, I actually announced that I got a new engine for this vehicle. I bought it off of JDM General Motors. They have an eBay site where they sell a lot of JDM parts and accessories, including engines, and luckily I was able to find an engine swap for this vehicle. I don't want to give away what it is right now, but I'll show you guys in a sec what it looks like, and I'm super excited. And I also have some stuff from Rally Sport Direct that I want to unbox as well, and then I just want to get some work done on the car. So let's get to it. Alright, so here's a quick look at what I picked up from Rally Sport Direct. So what I have here is I have a pair of intake manifold gaskets for our new WRX engine. And basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be transferring over the old intake manifold onto the new engine. And for us to do that, we need to replace these. It's a pretty important piece that needs to be done, especially since the ones on it before didn't look so great. And what you're looking at right now is a intake manifold itself, and the gaskets would actually go on the other side, right underneath the TGV valve over here. And then you might have seen the Tomei box from earlier when I punched the box out of the screen, but basically this is a turbo inlet. So let me show you guys real quick what it looks like. Japanese writing, always pretty cool, but here we go. Oh boy. So this is a 2.4 inch turbo inlet that I'm going to replace with the original turbo inlet that's on the car currently, because these things are prone for getting really soft. The plastics don't usually last as long as you would like, and they're a huge pain to remove when they're originally on the car. This actually gets tucked underneath the intake manifold, as you can see. So if you imagine that there's an engine laying on top of this, that you would have to basically squeeze this out from the top of the intake manifold and the top of the engine, and it's just a huge nightmare to do. So as a preventative thing, what I'm trying to do is replace this one with a one that will last a little bit longer than OEM, as well as add a little bit of color to the engine bay. As you can see, I went for a blue. Now it's not exactly a World Rally blue or anything, but I think it should look pretty good since I do have some of the silicone here to match this. That's how you do an unboxing. Here's a closer look at the new turbo inlet, and man, does it look good. I'm super excited to put this in the engine bay. I think I'll just add a little bit of that extra color. Nothing against black. I mean, black's always gonna look good, and you know, always having OEM parts probably is better, but I don't know. I just kind of splurged on this, and I thought that it's really good to add something. And what it also came with is just a bunch of hose clamps, as well as a little bit of silicone rubber, just to really help enforce all that air that's coming through these. So in case anybody's trying to know what a turbo inlet actually does, so at the end over here would be your intake, and before the air actually gets to the turbocharger, it's actually going to be going through this turbo inlet. And the reason that you want to upgrade this is because, one, there's actually a ripple right here. I don't know if you can see that, but there's actually a part of the design where it actually ripples right here, and with this one on the new turbo inlet, it's completely smooth. And as you can see with this, if I try and squeeze this, it feels like there's some sort of cage on the inside that's preventing me from doing that. And you can see how thick this is. I mean, this is some serious stuff right here. And on the OEM one, if I do that same exact thing, you can see how soft it is. I mean, even this part right here is just like a sponge. So this is getting so much pressurized air constantly contracting and expanding that this is gonna wear out pretty soon. And of course I got my damn hands dirty again. So tired of cleaning my hands, but I guess it's just the nature of the beast. Now here's a look at the new engine. As you can see, we have it on the back of the truck. Actually, I had to go pick this up from a friend of ours that has a dealership because they told us that the shipping would be a little bit better if we use a business. So it's kind of a pain to get this up here, and it's probably gonna be a pain to get it off, but I thought I'd show you guys before I start getting to work on putting this on an engine hoist and bringing it into the shop. So are you guys ready? All right, let's take a look. Whoo! And there you go, an EJ205, covered in saran wrap. I can't show you guys that because it has my shipping information on it, but what I'm gonna do is cut this and then get to work. Alright, so here's a closer look at the engine. So this is a EJ205, and it looks like it was actually out of a automatic. So the only differences that you're really going to see with this is just the Japanese model versus the American model. I'm glad that they did a good job of taping up all these hoses, especially here, to make sure that nothing falls into the engine. And it looks like they actually made some notes too on the timing belt cover, which is always nice. So it looks like they did a compression test and it got 165 PSI all around. Here's just a look at everything else. I thought this was kind of cool. It's just like a Japanese label. I don't know if this comes on the American cars, but I don't recall seeing it on mine. And it looks to be in really good condition. Of course, it's going to be a little bit dirty here and there, but besides that, it looks very good, just from a visual perspective. And I actually unbolted the timing belt cover to take a look at the timing belt. And you can see the condition of the belt. Looks really good. I also did the other side too, just to make sure, and it looks symmetrical to this. It looks really nice. So now the next steps would be to attach everything that was on the original engine to go onto this engine. Over here, it looks like something got ripped off on this side. Let's get to work on this thing. So what I'm going to be doing right now is using the engine hoist to remove the old engine off of this engine stand. And then I'm gonna go get the new engine out of the truck, put it on the engine hoist, and then put it onto the new stand. Alright guys, and here's a quick update. So we have the engine currently in the back of the truck. I got the engine hoist all set up, and I removed all the accessories that go here to actually hold the engine onto the new engine. So as you can see over here, we removed the flex plate. This is actually something for an automatic transmission, so we don't actually need to have that on the car. It helped us out a little bit when putting on the adapter that goes to the engine stand. I need to grease this as well as grease this. So I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that, but there's a little bit of grease in there just to make sure that this slides in nice and smooth. And then here is the original engine. This is going to be where we're transferring most of the parts from. I'm going to keep working on the car, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. And we're back. Alright, so that was kind of a pain to get the engine off the truck and onto the engine stand, but we were able to do it, and it looks pretty good. So let's go take a look at the engine real quick. Out with the old, and in with the new. This is super exciting, and the engine overall looks really good. I did have one little concern though, is down here on the oil pan. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this, but when it was delivered to me, it looks like there was a little bit of oil collecting right here at the very bottom, and then you can see where the paint chipped off on the bottom of the pan, which just basically indicates that this was dragged on the ground or maybe onto the pallet when it was loaded on. But the good news is we have so many parts off of this old engine that we could just swap over. And that's going to be our next steps, is we need to swap over all the parts that need to go onto this engine. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, I mean, a lot of progress has been made. It's pretty crazy that we came all the way from this. Now we move on to this. And then hopefully we can put it back in the car. I mean, it's been a long time since I've driven that WRX, so I'm really itching to get it back on the road. But I think I'm going to end the video here. So thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next video.